Ms. Velázquez.
Gentlewoman from New York is recognized for 2 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I want to thank both the gentleman from New Jersey, the chairman, and the ranking member from New York for their work. The people of Puerto Rico, 3.5 million of our fellow citizens, are suffering. The mayor of my hometown, Yabucoa, where Maria made landfall, is predicting that as many as 5,000 residents potentially facing starvation. More than 85% of the island is without electricity. 1/3 of Puerto Ricans lack access to drinkable water, which will surge the number of bacterial infections and mosquito-borne illnesses. As Puerto Rico faces this humanitarian crisis, the President of the United States is tweeting out threats to withdraw assistance. That is an outrage. It is an insult. It is an abdication of the President's solemn duty to protect the safety and security of the American people. American citizens everywhere deserve better. Where the President is failing to lead, Congress must act, and act now. The legislation we are debating today is far from sufficient. It's not enough, but it is a start. It's a down payment in helping the response process. It will keep FEMA operating, removing debris, and distributing food and water. It also helps Puerto Rico's government address a looming cash shortfall. With the government running out of money by the 1st of November, vital services could be suspended when residents can least afford it. This bill will provide a short-term cash infusion for the government to keep going. And the way this assistance is structured under the law, this fund will likely not be paid back, which is reasonable given the challenges Puerto Rico faces. And some of those challenges have been created by the lack of action of the Congress when it comes to Medicaid.
He's recognized for 1 additional minute.
Thank you. Thank you. Let's be clear. There's going to need to be much more assistance in the future. Puerto Rico will need help rebuilding its energy grid, repairing telecommunications networks, and putting its ports, bridges, and roads back together. And we cannot forget shoring up the island's Medicaid system, something that was critical before Maria, but is even more important now. This problem is of Congress' making, and we must fix it. Make no mistake. Those priorities will require more money, and we will need to come back and address them in a few weeks. The people of Puerto Rico are American citizens. And you know what? Even when so many of my brothers and sisters are suffering in Puerto Rico, are facing a humanitarian crisis, at last, 50% of the people in this country who didn't know that Puerto Ricans are American citizens are learning that fact. Yes, American citizens. When in 1898, Puerto Ricans were invaded and taken over by the U.S. government. So now it is our responsibility to make Puerto Rico whole. I thank and I yield back.
Members are once again reminded to refrain from engaging in personalities toward the President. Gentleman from New Jersey is recognized.
Mr. Chairman, I'm pleased to yield 3 minutes to the gentleman from Florida, Mr. Mario Diaz-Balart, Chairman of the Transportation HUD Subcommittee.